Um, Hello, good evening, good afternoon, actually. I'm Ariane Stolfi. Some of you may already know me, some from past conferences, some we met here a few days ago. I am professor of arts and communication on the Federal University of South of Bahia. And I'm doing like just a small talk to let you know how I end up here in the end. And then after we'll do a performance with these super nice musicians using my web audio tool. So yeah, so that's basically how it started. I got very privileged to be at this space. This is the Architecture University on the University of São Paulo. This is considered the most beautiful architecture building in the world. For some architects, it's a very nice brutalist architect from Brazil, Vila Nova Artigas. And as you see, like this building is amazing. It's enormous. It has like all acoustic possibilities inside. We had parties, we had meetings, gatherings, and we had lots of resources as well for woodworking, for printed press and everything. So like when I went there, we started to do students union or something like that. We had this, don't let the university disturb your studies, because we had so much things to do that sometimes we had to do by ourselves. And it was there where I started first to get involved with music. First I was like being DJ because I had to earn money from throwing parties, but also doing manifestations, political acts, like this one we had this maracatu group. It's kind of a traditional Brazilian rhythm that we play in the streets, walking around. But we had this political standpoint, so we had sometimes went to destroy walls or something like that, but also every kind of manifestation we had. So that's actually where I started to playing music. But I also, at the same time, started to working with this baby, buzz machines. This was kind of obscure software from the 90s, but it has like these blocks. It was a free-to-use software with loads and loads of plugins. It had the craziest synthesizers inside, like a modular approach that like Ableton may had copy from that, these modules. So we had patterns, we put on time, and we had this all the DSP processor chain. And I started like on both sides. I was doing the maracatu and I was doing these things. They were not really connected, but we also doing like free improvisations and jam sessions at the lunchtime. And then I started to record this stuff at some point. So I had this, I started to learn HTML at some point and working with web programming. And I had this crazy domain, insane plan that I rented on DreamHost in 2005 that I still have till now. It allowed me to have infinite space, infinite domains, and infinite like subdomains and everything. So I still host lots of sites on this server, but I started this to be like a record label, experimental record label. So I was recording lots of stuff, putting this on this page. First, I was like actually writing HTML at this time. So this is my first project. I was calling Proto Musica because I was not considering myself like a proper musician at the time. But I may show you a bit. This is This is from 2006, 2005. I may show you a bit. Yeah, so this is Fine Thanks Now. If you go there, it still works. So at one in the start, I was doing like these pages to recording like people that I was around, this ecosystem, very creative ecosystem, and had this like this was I think, how do you call this element? I forgot. Yeah, I think this is. This is basically my first album, say like that. But at some point, the player is not really working now anymore, but it's okay. But at some point, I started to have too many things to edit and to produce, and I decided to go to a more brutalist approach. So that's how is the Find Thanks repository now. So if you go to findthanks.com, you have records here, and then this is the best website. And I still use that for putting stuff. So here there are the from 2005 to from 2010, but if you go there, less modified stuff, you can find that I just put something last week to. This is, if you might interested to hear something, this set here, this last thing I put on the website, it's going to be a radio art project to be presented on Switzerland. And it's just like 1 hour of compilation of my work. So that's all the things, like from buzz machines to the newest one with Playsound and everything. And now with Mini Moog as well, something that I play now. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. Yeah, so this is the Find Thanks. And actually at some point, it got like 2,000 views a day. Like people were really like listening to that. Now I don't even check the statistics, but something like left behind. At some point, I got in contact with the Pure Data community. So that was something that really opened my mind. It was a PDCon in 2009 in Brazil. So I had the opportunity to have the workshop with Miller Puckett in the place that I went to study lots of years after. So this is my first project. I couldn't find like a nice video, but oh, sorry. This is super small here. I can see the proper, yeah, here. So this was something we made to play in three people. It was the first time I actually played in a museum, the Museum of Image and Sound. It was a kind of live cinema event. We had, I did a patch on Pure Data for that. The guy was playing with the buzz machines in another computer. And the other guy was selecting videos. So I had these video selections inside shapes, and the shapes I got the audio input from buzz machines to Pure Data to get processing of the size of the image. So we have a filter for the low and the high, and did like some cool graphics with a gem. And then I started to also do some noise patch for Pure Data. This is my, it's like was years of working on this patch. This has the different modules like that. So this is a wave shapers. This is something nice. It's a kind of interval stepper. So if you click like this, you go like 3 semitones or 12 semitones, and you can come back like 12 semitones. You can go up and down with these with these wave shapers here. So we had like 3 synthesizers. This one something that like go with the mouse, and you had like harmonic, and had some samplers. This was like a sequencer, very beautiful patch. Like I like to do like handcrafting stuff, and like this is a small part of I think it's the sampler. Yeah. Yeah, and then at some point I got invited to help with Daniel Scandurra and Gabriel Kerhardt to do an homage to Gilberto Gil. So I think most of you may know Gilberto Gil because it's like one of the most famous singer in Brazil. He's like one of the heads of the Tropicalia movement. And he was doing like 70 years old birthday. And they asked me, okay, let's do something with pure data, something interactive for him. But it was in 2014, and they just got released the HTML5. And I was like, actually, I didn't talk much about that, but I work a lot with web dev and digital culture and lots of different projects. Maybe after I can give you my website if you are interested. I'm going to show you this because this is still online. So we had this HTML5 coming up. Okay, I can't even see the mouse. It's very little here. So I propose instead of doing something in pure data, we built something in HTML5. So I had this. This is an online version. It doesn't have all the videos that was in the real version. And it was presented as an installation. So we had this totem with a touch screen. And here we had 6, we call hexagram because it's like an hexagram for the, maybe.
O desobjeto, o Deus objeto.
Retrato de lambe-lambe da mesma.
Fazer amor.
Que trânsito horrível, meu
Aí
Deus.
de vez em quando eu me sentia longe daqui.
Ainda canta o hino nas vozes, ainda tenta o tipo da saudade. Vamos ao show que tá na hora. E o disco que eu prometi ficar pro São João. Lembra uns doce verde, um sorvete verde. A cabra, o bode.
So this we took like we take all Gilberto Gil's songs, all of his albums,
E os homens tudo
and look for
encorado,
significant parts
vaqueiros,
that could work
os
as
boiadeiros,
unity,
e
like
os violeiros,
a sound
a
object,
rapadura,
and everything's they're like 2 gigabytes of
os sacos de
MP3
farinha na
samples on this.
feira,
So 280 sound samples. The hardest part of coding that was actually making this infinite loop, because this one can be dragged like both on horizontal and vertical infinite one. So it's like so for these sound samples, we got
São João.
Like they are in separate places, so I just load ones and had infinite GIFs that been growing. At some point it crashed, so the guy went and he started the browser, so it's all right. And this one is the only one that is not infinite.
Sertão é duro, mas é bom.
Sounds. So this was like the first job that I really like gave me a bit of recognition as sound artist and stuff. It was in 4 of the most important museums in Brazil. And I had finished my mastering. My master thesis was on web design. So I was studying code, the relationship between code and interface. But then I say, okay, once I had that, I can try to go to the music because that's what I wanted. So I tried like for a bit, but in the end I got accepted that. So I started to do like proper music. So because now, like until now, I was doing music. Then I started to do pieces. So this is the first, like my first composition on electroacoustics called Bandas Críticas. So this is basically the score. It's for 3 players. We have 48 oscillators, one of each critical band center, and one in the limits. So they were started together. It was controlled by pure data. It started together, and then he had some freedom to do some stuff around. And then in the end, he was just degrading the waves. So we got like silence. Just this was presented in some concerts, and I started to be like my advisor started to taking account like what I was doing. But at the same time, I was doing this as well. So we like playing carnival, percussion on carnival on the streets. This is Block OK. It's a kind of a carnival block, but we have open microphones. So we are playing battery, and that's a lead singer, like some lead singers, but we had also people join to play popular karaoke songs in Brazil. So at some point we had like 6,000 people on the street. Yeah, and also I got in contact with people from the computer science. We had this new song research group there that is quite famous and recognized. Fernando Iazeta was my advisor. I don't know if you know him, but it's quite important there on Sonology. It's not like real music, but sound studies, like something. And I went in partnership with a guy from computer music to do this open band project. So this is my first interactive participatory performance proposal. So basically, I'm gonna show you the teaser. This is a teaser, very short one. I started to send some, what happened? Yeah. So this is the volume here, okay. Yeah, so this is a teaser we sent to some conference. I think maybe I will go a bit further. We had this chat interface with the cell phone and play together, so we had large audiences playing together. Very chaotic sound. Then at some point I changed the sound. And I started to present this as a performance several festivals. Still works, it's still online, so if you want to try out the website, they are still actually doing performances of that every time people enter in the computer and mathematics institute. So they do for the new ones to say, oh, look what you can do, so nice stuff. And I present this a lot in a lot of places. At some point, I got the scholarship to go to the C4DM at Queen Mary, University of London, to study. And the problem with open band was just like a performance. It was not something like I could use that as an instrument. And I was already there in the University of São Paulo. I was really involved with free improvisation, and Orquestra HERMES is like an ensemble with traditional instruments mixed up with everything. And I never have figured out how to use in a good way even pure data, or not like any DAW with the computer together with the musicians in the free improvisation context. So I started to develop this Playsound. I get help from Alessia Milo, from Michael Ciano, Matteo Bartet. Even Ana Xambol was one of the users that tested the system. And this was super nice. This is something I'm gonna use today. I presented in a few the past conferences, both of performances or just research papers. I got this like agile method, so I like doing something and then publishing and doing something, then publishing, because I think in the end, when I was there, I had like 8 papers or something about this. Sorry. Yeah, just finishing. And this basically it grabs sounds from freesound.org. I'm just a few minutes. And I have this search as spectrogram, so I can have collections of sound. I'm gonna use this to perform. And after that, I went to the Federal University of São Paulo, Bahia. Maybe we could go there with the Web Audio Conference. We have at some point. This is where I'm living now, basically. We don't have anything, but we have nice students. And then I was doing this Reverbera project. That's what I'm gonna present. Because we don't like have this in there. We don't have any experimental music scene. So we have to build it up. So like start to train people to practice and everything. So what we're gonna do now is the same thing like I did with my students. We're gonna play Georges Méliès movie and do like live soundtracks. I'm gonna play with Playsound, but also together with the musicians. So that's the point, the main idea. I'm gonna change this, change the HDMI so I don't get glitchy. Yeah, but basically while they are setting up, I can explain a bit more of Playsound. It's basically a looper. You can put many loops together and, okay. One second. Yeah, and it's open to use. You can like try it out after. Maybe in the jam sessions, if someone wanna use my computer, you can do that. Yeah, maybe it's nice if you can. Okay, so that's it. Great, a good movie. How to say? You say merda in Portuguese.
Les lumières. Oh, c'est dur.
Thank you very much. you. So just remember, after we have the jam session, so I still have to set it all up after the concert. Merci, merci, merci.